can treat
I
us
know.
that way. It's okay. God is our defense.
You know what? Sunday, bring him like a snack. I told him I had some cookies.
Nos vemos en diezmos y ofrendas, ¿no?
Oh, it's okay. We're gonna sleep on one of the three.
Welcome to MZBC, the podcast. You hear all that rattling going on in the background. That's what happens when you invite Benjamin Coria to join us and Alejandro Orosco.
Orosco.
No,
Orosco.
Orosco.
I learned something new this week, that there's a time in Spanish speaking words that there's a r and there's a r.
And J is not pronounced.
J's not J.
It's ha.
Ha. But
Ha.
jump is not hump. We
It's
learned
hump.
that. How do you say
It's
jump?
it's the same letter.
Well, the letter is the same.
But the
in
sound
Spanish
is
we don't
different.
use it in those sentences.
So say Benjamin jumped over the fence.
Benjamin.
Do you have to carry the hin? Benjamin?
Yeah, because you know the accent, the little thing.
It's got the little thing going on.
Yeah. So there, the words that end with N, S, or vowel, they have the little thing in the. So you have
I
a
got
deeper
you.
pronunciation, like Benjamin is not Benjamin, it's Benjamin. You know, like
Yeah, you are mean.
You've
You
been
should-
mean.
You guys should have heard the way he was talking to me right before we got on here. I even had to use the word silencio. And that basically means shut up.
Yeah, sí. Sonó fuerte. It
This is
sounds
Alex.
rude. Yeah, I'm Alex. Hi, everyone.
If everyone watching Alex on tonight, please give him a shout out on his Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Follow
TikTok,
him, like and
Snapchat.
subscribe.
High five.
I mean, okay, this is a true statement. Mike, back me up on this. He walked in tonight with no shirt on.
Yeah.
No.
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 He has
I
his
mean,
coat
no.
on.
Yeah.
He
No.
has his coat and his chain and no
Yeah.
t-shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that was.
you didn't supposed to say that, but it's okay. Thank you.
that is
Sorry.
a church.
This is unscripted, sir.
We have to take care of it out the street.
Yeah.
So, what if we start about
Check.
all of this? Yeah. And
Well,
stuff.
you guys are the guests.
All right. Well, we feel at home.
Yeah.
I feel at home. So if I feel at home,
So
you
I
decide.
hear a long time ago that Russell, it was really good with the technology.
Yeah. This is true.
I
see
guess
where this is
it's a time.
And just so you know, I think for the last 2 minutes we were talking, all that was on the screen was our logo. It didn't ever change over. So if people keep listening, awesome. If they got mad and shut us off, then they might not hear anything else we say. I'm tell you what, it's been a bad moment for technology. You're trying to be funny, Alex, but
I think the last hour has been a little rough.
It was, it was.
But
It-
it's
and
a
it was-
time
but
of
it
the
was-
life when you're missing.
But you show your real
Russell.
the real Russell, and it was
is
great.
are you saying that's a good?
It
that's a
is
thing?
good. Yeah, it is good.
Okay. Well,
It's mean. Russell mean.
Russell Bean.
Russell mean.
You have another name, sir.
you had to extend it out like the Benjamin Russell
What my
Mean.
name is mean.
I wasn't being mean though. I think I was just getting frustrated. I told them before we started that, and you guys can tell me if you agree or not. When you buy things and they don't work, it's just like so frustrating.
And you know, if you weren't messing with a computer, you probably wouldn't get frustrated.
No, definitely not. If it was just like some kind of basic a book or something, because this book can't do anything wrong.
Don't you think it's
It's just like it's the Bible.
our
Just read
age?
it.
Don't you
Age?
think they-
Are you trying to say that I'm aging out of technology? I think.
Well,
doing pretty good.
not that, but there's an age where
This is
where
getting
you don't
kind of
have
rude. You
More
know?
Yeah,
patience.
It's,
for
it's
stuff.
getting. It's almost creeping over to Benjamin's picking on me now.
I know.
Mhm.
Do you think, Alex?
I don't know.
And the thing about it is, like, when I become the most mature person in the room or the most technology savvy person in the room, there's a problem. Because I'm not the most mature, nor do I know the most about technology. So it's all good, though. I appreciate you guys being here. So this is what me and Mike do. We Pastor Russell here, Mike Reagan here, reclaimed life group leader. In case you didn't know, if you're listening to this podcast and you don't know who we are, that's pretty amazing that you found us. But I think you know who we are. But we asked Alejandro. Do you have to go by Alex or Alejandro?
Alex.
We asked Alex to be here, and because
Must
he
be his alias.
is his alias. He had one of the people to know Alejandro.
You got two names.
Oh, well, don't.
He was born here in California.
Yeah.
His real name
It's
here in
Alexander.
Alexander.
But in Mexico, everybody
Mexico.
calls me Alejandro. So I just
We got two different.
Picked it up.
So you were
picked
born
from
in
Alex.
California?
Yeah, I born on California.
What part?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Ooh, City of
Yeah.
Angels.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Were you born in California?
I
You
was-
look like a movie star, though. You look
I
like-
born in Michoacan. the top of the mountains up there, where not even nurses are.
You really?
Yeah, really.
Wow. So your
you know,
mom just
Francisco's
pushed you out
mom,
with no
Yeah.
nurse?
Francisco
Like
mom,
that.
She helps.
Francisco's mother helped
Yeah.
out. Wow. That's pretty awesome.
I'm all natural.
It sounds
All natural.
awesome, but it's not cute. It's not. It doesn't look good. It sounds cool, but it's not.
well, like I told you, I'm all natural. I have no medication. My mom is a strong mom, and not like the crystal moms that.
Yeah, I
we
know,
need
but-
a needle on the.
Yeah, man. When my
Yeah,
mom
to
and I think my wife, when they had kids, they would give me all the good drugs. Like, take away all the pain.
I asked for some, but they wouldn't give me any.
You know, they're like, Dad, you can't have the good drugs,
No.
man.
Here's some water.
So, Benjamin
Oh.
made that sign
Yeah.
for everybody watching.
About,
So,
about the water.
Yeah.
Tereli was kind of sick. Well, she was ill, but she went to the hospital. She was so hungry, but the doctor told her that she cannot eat anything because they need to take some test and blah blah blah. Say, oh, but we're gonna give you some ice chips.
ice chips, yeah.
And she was, ice chips? Okay, it's chips.
She thought it was some kind of chip.
So we never hear about those ice chips before. And when they come with the ice, with
Yeah.
the ice chips
It was
are
just ice.
ice.
Ice chips in the hospital is basically a cup of ice. When
Great.
you go to Chick-fil-A,
Uh,
getting some ice chips. That's basically what you're getting.
no, we were. Is this
So-
all I were?
So we MZBC the podcast. What we do, we come every week, and the whole point of the whole thing is just to come together and be like, what is God doing in our life this week?
Mm.
Like, what has He been teaching you? What have you been learning? What have you experienced? And up until we started trying to set up for today,
Mhm.
I was super psyched about the whole thing. Like, my whole focus was going to be positivity, and because a lot of the times when I teach or do something, tell me if this is true or not. As you teach, Benjamin, you teach a lot. Mike, you teach a lot. When you're teaching scripture and you're talking about a sinful nature, person, people, it seems to be a lot that our teaching comes from a negative place. Like, let me explain that. Like, you're always talking about what people are doing wrong, or how we can be better, or how we can serve God more, and all these things. There are very few times that you stop and you teach, or you even reflect in your own life on the joy of what God allows you to experience.
I
At least
think-
for me, I'll say for
Got it,
me.
yeah.
I think a lot of times what we get wrapped up in is I'm guilty, and I tried to change this, and this goes with what you're saying is a lot of people will glorify the sin
Yeah.
more than the Redeemer. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I used to do this at the party, and it's like, well, you're glorifying the bad behavior more than the Redeemer who you turned away from and went to Him.
Yeah. I
So,
learned.
so we tend to kind of like the old stained glass windows and stuff that used to be in churches. Well, they depicted a lot of Satan and hell more than Jesus and coming out of the tomb.
Mhm. And so what I was told in relation to that is when you're writing your testimony, your testimony is basically 3 parts, right? Like, before I knew Christ, this is where Christ met me, and now this is my life after Christ. Your part before I met Christ shouldn't be a lot longer than your part after you met Christ, and that's what
Got
you're
it,
saying.
got it.
A lot of people's part before they met Christ is like a novel, and they'll talk about it all day. Man, I used to be this, I used to
And
be
then I
that.
met Jesus, and now I'm good.
Then met Jesus, yeah.
And
Now
that's
go ahead.
I'm better now. Thank you.
I'm good. The
Yeah, I'm
light is
good.
shining upon me.
And honestly, that is like never the situation, hardly.
It's supposed to be different, yeah.
I think the third part should never end. You know,
Amen.
walking with
It's
Christ.
ongoing.
It's ongoing because it says He'll complete the good work in you until His day.
That's right.
That's paraphrasing.
And so your third chapter in your Jesus life should be longer and continuing. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's a great way to say it, Mike. Because that's really, I think that's what God impresses on my heart in my preaching and my teaching, is always to inspire people to keep going. Like, because you never know what the next thing is God's going to use you for. But you have to make yourself available. You have to be there and do it. I experienced that with you. You'll do anything. Doesn't matter what it is. You haven't experienced it. You don't have any experience at it. You might not be good at it. You'll jump in and try it. Because why not?
That's the only way.
And He
Yeah.
does it.
And then He does it like better than if we would have hired somebody or someone that knows what they're doing. It's like,
have to do it.
You just-
Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to do it. Let's do it.
Once he shows up.
Once
he'll do
it.
Well, it's 2021. How far can we go with saying that Hispanic people are late more than not? Is that a true statement?
No,
Benjamin?
it is true statement.
The ones that true. Like, help me out. I
guess-
think that's what I think,
Uh-huh.
and I've been taught in like African countries, in Hispanic countries, Latino countries, time is not of the essence. It's kind of like we'll be there, whether we're there at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's
We're
just
going
like-
to be there.
We're gonna be there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's the
Yeah,
point.
it's not like a.
Is that a common thing?
No.
It is a common.
Oh, it's a very common thing.
It's,
Well,
You
it
say
is.
it's not?
Yeah, it is. It is.
It is because
trying
nobody's like exactly on time. Or I mean, I'm coming, but I'm not telling you when I'm coming, what
Yeah.
time I'm coming. I mean, because I don't know, for some reasons the day, I can say it from in Mexico, is like a relaxing day. You're not behind the clock.
Well,
I
and
mean,
most
you're
of
not
the time,
chasing it.
the day is kind of longer. you know?
I mean, you get
Yeah.
26 hours in
Sounds like
Mexico.
yeah, it sounds funny, but it is. But it doesn't matter if you have to be in the house like 8 o'clock or 9. You can be in your house like 12 or 1 or 2, and you're still thinking that you're early in your
Mhm.
house. So it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
really
if
slow.
someone invites me to his birthday party, and he says it's going to start at 7, I can be there like 11, and it doesn't really matter because the party is going to be continue all night.
Agreed, 100%. Because I learned this when I first moved here. If Benjamin invites you to a cookout and say it starts at 6:30, this is what it means, Mike. At 6:30, they're gonna get the charcoal out, the lighter fluid, start getting the food out of
Run
the
to
fridge.
Dollar General,
Ch-
get the lighter fluid.
Okay, listen. I can only speak from an Anglo perspective.
that's true.
If I tell you the cookout at my house is at 6:30, when you show up at 6:30,
It's
man,
time to eat.
it's serving burgers.
It's time to eat.
Really?
Yareli did something funny. My wife, she said something. Okay, it was my birthday. Say I'm gonna invite. I mean, we want to invite.
Yeah.
A lot of people. He say, okay, I'm gonna tell the Americans, the party's gonna
The
start at 7.
Americans.
Well, the
Yeah.
party's gonna start at 7, but the Hispanic we're gonna tell them the party's gonna start at 5. So the Hispanic get at 7 and the Americans get at 7.
So at 7, you start eating.
Yeah.
Hey.
I mean, it was a time.
And so now,
It was 2
anytime
hours.
Benjamin invites me to go somewhere, if he says, "Yeah, we're coming birthday party at my 7 o'clock," I show up by 8:15. I'm right on time. Like I'm right on
You
time.
figured it out.
Yeah, I'm right on time. I show up and the Tres Leches cake is coming out and Benjamin's dancing and singing and it's all good.
Well, I
They
guess
have
it's
some good little
changing.
snacks when you go to their parties.
It's changing. I mean, well, especially here in the
Oh no,
office,
you're being
it's
being
changing.
taken over by this.
Yeah, the system.
The system.
Punctuality. It's
Yeah.
called punctuality,
Yeah,
sir.
exactly. I mean, we have to learn a lot. We have to learn a lot. That when you say at 6, it's gonna start at 6. I mean, because
And
even
it's
for the
and
respectful.
it's difficult for us.
Mhm.
You don't really
To
know
learn
but to do it because when someone asks me to be in their house at 6 and I know that I have to be on 6 there, it makes me feel kind of nervous because I'm not really sure how long I'm going to take until I go to his house. So at 5 I'm start to getting nervous and I'm not sure if I have to start driving to his house, or I have to wait. So most of the time I get there like 20 minutes early
Mhm.
and wait in the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes me- yeah, it
You
makes me
know,
feel weird.
That sounds like Haley.
Mm.
Let's say there's an appointment. It's like, okay, my appointment's at 6. She'll show up at 5:30.
Yeah,
That's just her.
yeah, because that's why
Always happened.
when I tell Mike we're gonna meet here at 6, I always ask him what time are you really gonna be there
Uh-huh.
because he'll say 6 and then call me at 5:30 like where you at? I'm here. Let's do this thing.
That was one of the things that my mom was teaching us since we were kids. It's 9 o'clock. Mom, it's 8:15. But she said it's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. It's
We're
gonna be
past the 8 o'clock hour. It's 9.
Yeah, it's
Well,
basically-
there's
for the moms.
55 minutes or so in between there.
and the older you get, like the quicker 9 o'clock approaches and all that kind of stuff. Like by 9 o'clock, I'm done for. But 9 o'clock, your night's just starting. You're like 25.
5. The 5.
So he's still young. He's got all that going on.
Yeah.
So part of what I asked you to be here for, Alex, was to get to know you because I only know you through Benjamin, and you were here last time, and you
Yeah.
almost burnt my house down last time you were here.
And I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's a dark
But it was
chocolate.
not my fault. That was so, the grilling was weird. And
We don't
Are
have
you
those.
saying I have a weird grill?
We don't have those in Mexico.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I'm gonna say. I'm sorry, and I'm almost burn
So
myself
listen,
too.
Mike, you don't know this story.
I don't.
We were cooking tacos at my house one night, way before COVID. Alex was there, and Alex said, "I got the grill, Russell. I got it." So
This
I
was
have
at your house.
my
and
house,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
grill. I have a
And I really know how to make tacos. So I'm really good.
Carne asada.
Yeah, and
was
I really
good.
know how
yeah.
to
I
make
mean,
carne
he's got the
asada.
skills. I have a acorn, like a big green egg grill, but it's not a big green egg. So just picture that. And so Alex is on the grill, and the flame is 6 foot in the air. And
awesome.
this is what Alex tells me. It's good. It's good, Russell. I got it. So I tell
Now, is the grill like right against your house?
dude, the grill is about 4 foot from my house, and there's 20 people sitting around it. Like, it's not like he's out in the field and everything's safe. And so I told
And
Heather,
there's a 6 foot flame, and they're just hanging out.
and we don't even know Alex.
Okay.
This is the first time we met him.
Yeah.
And so I go inside and I tell Heather, I don't know. Look, Alex says it's okay. I feel like he's gonna melt the grill. I don't know what's going on.
And I was calling Benjamin in Spanish, and I was saying, man, I don't know what to do now. Help me. Así como,
Close
ayúdame,
the
por
lid.
favor, sí. And me decían,
Close the
ciérralo,
lid.
ciérralo. And I was closing it, but it was not working. And when I opened it, it was like the big
Oh,
flame
yeah.
again.
And when the oxygen
And I was
hit it
getting
took
really
off.
nervous, and Benjamin didn't
He
tell me
had
nothing
backdraft
too.
from the grill
Yeah.
on your back porch.
Yeah.
told you.
And so
We don't have those in Mexico.
it turned out
Yeah.
fine. And the what carne asada, that's what it was. Turned out really good. And then so Alex goes back home to Mexico and comes back like 6 months later. And then he's telling me, I was really scared. I didn't really know what was going on.
It's like, me too.
Yeah, I was like, well, so was I. I had USAA on speed dial. Like,
Yeah, but at the moment, I was like really sure about what was I was doing.
in the moment.
Yeah, in the moment. Yeah, 10 minutes later, I was like really scared.
I was like, I don't think I know what I'm doing.
Hey, listen
Yeah.
though, I learned a lot about culture that night because I watched Benjamin's mom take
The
homemade
tortilla.
tortillas
Yeah.
and put them on ashes, bro, like in the fire, like with her bare hand, boom, set them there, and then pick them up, flip them over, and then it was really good.
She does that
But
every
I don't know
day.
how she.
Yeah.
She has calluses built up for years. And so,
That was
anyways,
great.
that's when I first met Alex. But tell us, what's up with you, dude? Like, what do you do? I don't know. Like, you live in Mexico, born in California. What do you guys do in Mexico? with
Well,
your family?
I'm living in Mexico right now with my family. We have some stores of clothes.
Shops.
Shops, yeah, clothes shops.
Okay.
And that's what my family does. I study communication science. I make pictures and I make photo and video for government and some sector empresarial, like what is that?
Well, any business when you may need.
Yeah, any kind of
Okay.
business.
So,
So
you people gonna hire you.
Yeah.
And you do
Mhm.
their photos.
yeah,
and
that's what I do,
different things.
and I have been doing that for 4 years, and the last year I started working for the government of Mexico, and it was like really good, so that makes me feel kind of free. So I started to travel, and I came here to visit Benjamin. Benjamin is my cousin, and that's the way that I met you, and I
Yeah.
almost burned your house. Yeah, so that's what I do. And I'm coming back to Mexico again. I'm going to keep working. We have some really cool projects there, some really cool stuff to do with some friends, and that's it. Most of the time, I work in front of my computer.
That's good.
It's good.
So maybe you're the tech support I need over here when we're
Yeah,
doing
maybe I can
He
help you
kept
some
trying
stuff.
to
He
say,
told me
do
before we
this
started
and
I
that.
could just take over Pastor Russell, but I think I'll hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
He did.
you'll not hurt my feelings. Jesus has already put my feelings in check
But
tonight.
you never
Yeah,
stepped
and there
away.
you start to scream and
Jail,
throw it every day in
panicking.
jail, and
Yeah.
so I get scary and I stop.
my
It
AirPods.
went from Pastor Russell to Russell.
To Russell, to the real
Almost,
Russell.
almost the
Ru-
rusty.
Russell.
Almost the rusty.
It almost went to rusty. It went almost back to the old school. Yeah.
And what'd you call it? Rust mean? Russell mean?
Russell
Russell
mean.
mean?
Russell mean,
I
yeah.
love that. So you guys are cousins?
Yeah, well, Joreli is my cousin. He's my cousin-in-law. Is that
Cousin.
right? Yeah.
Cousin-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
That's
all
awesome.
my family, so that's why I'm here.
Awesome.
So
Well.
that's it. That's most of the part of what I'm doing right now in Mexico,
Okay.
and it's really cool because most of the people ask me why I'm here, and what are my plans, and why they never see me working or doing real work. That's
Yeah.
what they say.
But he works.
Yeah, I works in my computer.
No,
And
at home and with me.
oh, with him.
He climbed live.
And it's really cool because I was thinking when you called me to came here with you, I was thinking about the podcast and I started thinking about most of the time we had some really cool plans or some really cool projects in our lives, and we think that they are like big plans or they are like really big or really cool projects for us. But most of the time when you are like reading the Bible or asking someone older than you realize that God's plans is always going to be bigger than your plans. And it's really cool because when I was in the school, I start doing my career, and I used to think that I was going to be on making some videos for some cool people or some cool places, something basic, but I thought it was going to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I start to travel, and now I start to meet some really interesting people around the world. Last year I was in Peru, and I was making some pictures for some band there.
Mhm.
I never realized that I can make some really cool and really big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that my plans used to be big, but now that I'm getting outside and getting trying to do more stuff,
Yeah, more experiences.
and more experiences,
Mhm.
I realized that maybe God has plans for me that are bigger than what I really thought. And that's really cool because most of the time we think that we have all our life like
Planned out. Yeah.
and God always are waiting for us until we can let Him do His plans in our lives.
He's
And that's
like,
what-
well, when you get done with your plans, then we'll start the real plan.
Yeah,
I think that's part of my, I don't know how you say it, but pastoring is
Uh-huh.
to encourage people and get people to a point where God's plans are always bigger than what you think.
Mhm.
Like if you will just take the first step and trust Him and go do it, then He's going to allow you to do something bigger than you could ever imagine. And because I think it's because you approach it with, you're not trying to be Alex, the famous photographer. You're trying to be Alex, the Christian, the Jesus follower that God is allowing to do all these things. And the platform that you want is to make Him known.
yeah.
It's not about you. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
about
yeah.
making Him known through the way you interact and take photos.
No, and when you do your stuff, when I make some videos, some people ask me, your videos are kind of different. Why? I don't know. They
That's a
just
good
are.
question. Let's ask God.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
most of the people ask me that. They look kind of different. Why you don't say this on your videos, or why you don't put these kind of pictures on your videos, or why? I don't know. I'm kind of different, maybe.
Yeah.
And don't
God
realize
makes us-
that God's going to be there always, and He's making you different. You know?
if we were all the same, how boring would that be?
Yeah.
Like if we were all old 44-year-old white guy me. I mean, extremely boring. But you're young and hip and know all the cool things. And Benjamin is old, but he thinks he's hip and knows a bunch of cool things. Follow Benjamin Coria on TikTok. Benha something.
Benja Coria oficial.
Benha Coria, yeah.
Ben Mean.
Ben Mean on
Ben
TikTok.
Mean.
Yeah.
But we all have our special gifts and we all have our special talents, and that's how God created us. And the more that
Yeah.
people like you and me and us can get people to stretch their comfort zone, then I think that we're doing what we're called to do. It's kind of what we do right here. I'm not necessarily comfortable talking every week and being in front of people, but Mike came and said, hey, I think that this has the ability to reach people that don't come to this church, that are out there and just need to be inspired. So, hey, why not try everything that God has given us to try to reach people?
And always trying to make something bigger.
Yeah.
My mom just used to tell me something in Spanish. He said, si quieres llegar rápido, ve solo. Si quieres llegar lejos, ve acompañado. She said, if you want to get there fast, go alone. But if you want to get far, go with someone else.
Wait, were you in our leadership training on Sunday?
Nope.
Dude, that's the
What?
exact quote the guy used.
Oh.
Tony, right?
Tony
Tony
Andrews, a husband of our.
It was a proverb.
It was
from
African
Africa.
proverb.
Yeah.
And that was the exact thing. If you want to
The
go somewhere
exact
quick,
words.
go by yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to go far,
together.
we go together.
You
Oh,
did it again.
that's good.
Your mom is wise.
Yeah, my mom just
I
told me
got
that.
this. I can't stop doing that. Like, is there another one? I know.
I only
I'm going to start
mentioned
planning
it
like this.
because you're like, well, I got to stop doing that.
I do have to stop doing
You're like-
that. It's for some reason in my every time I think us, all of us, I do this because I don't want to do a big hug. What else could I do?
It's okay. It's okay. Oh, it's
Maybe
on the
like-
air. It's on the
Here's
air.
a
Bye.
church.
One, two.
Here's a church. Here's a steeple. Open it up. Here's all the people. Like I guess I need to do like that. Us.
No,
That's about how many we got right there.
It's-
A sign with the hand. No, I met Alex when he was 8 or 9. I met Alex when he was 8 or 9. I met him at church. when we
9.
were 9, where I met my wife. I mean, it was my wife's cousin, and when I met him, he was like was those hyper kids.
Yeah.
But he was always talking.
He's still
talking.
hyper.
Yeah.
He's
No,
pretty
I-
hyper,
I'm
dude.
not. I'm not. Sorry.
You're not.
Uh,
No, I'm not.
But he was in business. He was in business since then. I remember he was selling phone cards. I mean, the pin with the
Oh,
pin
yeah.
and everything to call Mexico. Well,
Okay.
he was selling me the
At
cards.
8 years old.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
He was
Yeah,
selling
he was
the
a hustler.
cars. Yeah, that's it. And I bought a lot. I bought him a lot of cars, and I was using them for call my family in Mexico. And then they left and said, "Oh, the poor little thing went to Mexico." And then the poor little thing went to Mexico. No.
The
Dile
poor
algo.
little thing.
But then I
No,
found
no.
a lot of things when he came back. I mean, he experienced a lot of good things, new things. He learned a lot, and it's. I mean, I enjoy when I speak with somebody who's not depressed, when he's not in trouble. When he's not. Well, I know Alex has a lot of trouble, has been for a lot. But when somebody's not talking about the bad situation that is hovering in
Yeah.
their life, just looking at the positive side of the life.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I enjoy with him. I mean, because for real, I am one of the people that you may not know, but I get depressed really, really fast, and I go,
Mhm.
"Hey, Alex, I feel really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Help
and
me out. I want to cry. I want to quit. I want to do this." So many crazy stuff, but he always got some words for me when I need it.
So,
Yes.
I,
It's my
I,
friend and my cousin.
I believe that about you.
Why?
Well, only because I would have never known there's anything bad going on in your life by the way you carry yourself. You have that big smile like that right there, and you just carry yourself. But I relate more to Benjamin. I think you don't know this about me either, but I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like some days I wake up and I'm just like, I don't even want to do it. Like not that I don't want to do pastoring, I don't want to do life.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like
Yeah.
out of it, and my wife can tell when those moments are happening. Like you good? Like what's going on?
Yeah.
So I need to know that about you because now you're going to become a Alex pick me up
That
phone call.
Yeah, can work.
Yeah.
I think that you can. Everything can bring you something good to your life. It doesn't matter if it's like kind of a problem. I think that there's not like a real problem. It's just like one opportunity to do something better, something different, and everything's going to be always fine. It doesn't matter how it comes, when it comes, or whatever.
Mhm.
Everything's going to be fine always.
Yeah. God works it out.
Yeah, when God works it out.
Yeah.
There's a song in Spanish. There's a song that says, "Free, please." It's a prayer to God. Free me, make me free of me.
Make me free of me.
Yeah, that's one of those.
Say it in
when you-
How do you say it in Spanish? How do you-
Líbrame de mí. It's like when they take you out of jail, they make you free. I mean, make me free of me. I mean, take me out of the jail from my jail, my own jail. That's awesome. I mean, when I start thinking about all those things that we're talking, I need to be free of me, God. I need you to live instead of me. Free of me. Free me of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Zach Williams has a song, something like that. It's like little less of me, more like Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's basically the same situation. I mean, less of me, but make me free of me.
Most of the people get sad or get worry about their life when they has a lot of problems, and that kind of it's normal, isn't it? When they have some problems, but I'm kind of weird. When I had a lot of problems, I get
You're in the right place, sir.
yeah, and I get happy about it. Let me tell you why. Most of the times, when I had some problems, I can learn something different, and then I can have some words for someone else when they have the same problems.
Yeah.
And I realized that when Charlie called me a few weeks ago, she get really sad because she was sick. You know that.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
was like really, really sick.
Mhm.
And she called me and she was like kind of crying and telling me, Alex, guess what? I'm almost dying and I'm really sick. And I was, it doesn't matter. Don't worry. It's going to be fine. And she get kind of mad. And she told me, you cannot even realize what is
going through.
yeah
Mhm.
what is going to me. And I tell her, oh, that's what you think? Yeah, you cannot even imagine. He was like kind of angry
Mad.
with me, mad with me. And I told her, okay, let me tell you something. Last week I had cancer. And she was like, what? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And it is somebody that maybe you don't know, but he got cancer.
Yeah.
He got cancer level number 2, and he's here,
And
Right now?
No, not right now. I'm already
healed
healed. Yeah.
from
Wow.
cancer. He's free of
Yeah,
cancer.
but I had cancer like 3 months ago. And she was like, for real? And yeah. And how are you? I'm fine. I'm good. I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
How
Everything's-
are you?
And then I told her my small story about it. And then I asked her again, how are you?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm better.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
There was a lady that was a manager at Fleet Pride.
Hmm.
It was kind of like that. She was great, real nice, real outgoing. And I didn't know this until I got to know her a little better. We become friends. She used to be a drive for the Kawasaki motorcycle team,
Mm-hmm.
like the street bikes that's on the race course.
Mhm.
I don't know what you call it. The crotch rockets. or
Crotch
whatever.
rockets, all I know them
The
as.
noisy
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, but they're racing them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She used to do that.
The NASCAR of motorcycles.
Yeah, she couldn't weigh 110 pounds soaking wet.
Wow.
And she was tiny, and she was a ball of energy. She was one to be reckoned with. And then she was going to move on to a different company, and she was a full-fledged diabetic and stuff. But unless she told me that, like you said you had cancer, but unless she told me that or you told somebody, you'd never know.
Yeah.
She never griped about it. She never complained about it or anything.
Mhm.
She had a lot of health issues, but to look at her and to be around her, you would have never known.
Yeah. There's some people that can be going through the most serious things in life, and they're able to.
Yeah, and it's not like they're hiding it.
Mm.
They don't focus. on it.
And some people are probably trusting God, but some people, you're right, they're not making it their whole focus.
Mhm.
But then there are other people that may have a
Hypochondriacs.
ingrown toenail, and you hear 1,000 things about
I've
it.
known
like it's
people that are like, it could be a brand new thing. The news people are saying it right
They
there
think they have
live.
it.
It's like, oh, I got it. I'm like, you don't even know what it's called yet. Oh, I got it.
Yeah, and I guess it is similar to what you say about the testimony, focusing on what God is doing, not focusing on what the enemy did. I mean, because for real, the enemy throws down
'Cause-
and make us a joke.
yeah, and he always attacks us in those weak places. Satan never attacks you where he knows you're strong. It's always where you're weak. And so for you and I'll say,
Uh-huh.
he knows that you can get to our mental state and make us feel a certain type of way about ourselves, about our situation, all that. And so that's where we get attacked.
Uh-huh.
Now, Michael will be somewhere else, and you'll be somewhere else, because obviously you can't be happy all the time.
Yeah,
There's
of
moments
course.
where things happen and whatever. But it is about that testimony and what you say. Now, if someone else experiences this, I can speak that into their life
Mhm.
because I've had firsthand experience of it. And so I think that for all of us, knowing Mike's story, knowing my story, and a little bit of your guys' story, we all have not walked perfect lives. And Jesus at some point intersected our life, and now we can use that before I knew Jesus testimony to when I met Jesus to now this is what he's doing, to talk about real life things with people.
Mhm.
Because there's like a whole part of your testimony that I just learned, like 3 months ago,
Mhm.
that we talked about pretty in depth about. And so you can talk to people about certain things that I would have no idea about, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And so kind of cool. But I guess what got me in what I told y'all before I came here, and the technology had me frustrated. What had me excited was a lot of times I say you teach, and you're always teaching to, don't sin. This is how we should be around God. This is what we should be doing. This is how we should be acting. And this week, God allowed us to experience like not the corrective side of Him, but the blessing side of Him, where we got to go buy the final supplies for the book bags that we're sending out.
Mhm.
So that's like an awesome thing. We were in Target like just buying everything we could because people donated money, and we were out there just shopping, having fun, knowing that these things were about to go to kids in the community. So God allowed us to experience that. We come back and get it all together and get it all set up and all these things. So it was just like a fun week getting to do that. I got a call from a church member that was going through just some aging things. But I got to sit with her for like 2 hours yesterday, and she was telling me stories of growing up on Jonesboro Road, like back in 1930 something, 1940 something, and being at Mount Zion. And dude, she is the second youngest of 15 kids. I mean, that's crazy in itself. But just being around her, you know, God was allowing me to just remember it's a long journey. Like, she's been serving and doing these things for so long. She was actually the first person that was in nursery when my kids, who are now 16 and 12, were 3 months and 2 months or whatever when we started on Zion, and she's rocking them in a rocking chair. And so just watching her talk and tell me her story, and then seeing the state of life she's in now and just how good God has been through the whole thing, it really just had me in a good place all week. I've been going home not in that depressed state that I can get to sometimes, but just excited about what was going on. And then we walk in here, and computer doesn't want to do what it wants to do, and my AirPods somehow got thrown across the table. I don't know what happened there, but you know, just stuff happened.
You want to know what happened?
No, we know what happened.
I want to add this, since Alex's story, yours, and Ben's. Philippians 4:8 says, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, honorable," I'm going to kind of condense it a little bit. "Whatever is true, honorable, pure, lovely, commendable, if there is any moral excellence, and if there is any praise, dwell on these things." Basically, all the good things.
Yeah.
Because I tell people, I'm like, there's positive in everything. I said, even if your house is burning down, this is just an example, I said, there's a positive in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It truly is.
We were talking about the grill, right? When
There you go. You got to meet a friend. It's like, man, this dude almost burnt my house down.
Yeah.
You remember?
And now you two are sitting next to each other.
That's right. That's right.
Puñito.
Oh, no.
Sonia's house in Alabama.
Yeah.
She invited us to go
In
Thanksgiving.
where?
Alabama.
That's good. I like it. I heard you.
How did
Alabama.
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 She invited us to the Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
But then Sonia was the first dates in their house because their house was burned. She was living in a trailer, mobile home. It got fired.
Caught on fire, yeah.
Yeah,
I
caught
remember.
on fire, and the insurance paid the money, so they built it again. The next door neighbor, offered himself to connect the gas and make all this. The house get fired again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they were like scared because the house get fired, but they get the money back again, and they start building this new house. They build this new house, and they don't have money to complete the full house. But one of the stove was, let's say, wasn't bought in a shop, in a second-hand shop. It was electric stove. It has not complete. But that day we went to talk with them and we share with them when they were sharing with us a sweet pie casserole, sweet pie, something.
Sweet potato casserole.
Say, it's a good time to put some marshmallows on it. They put the marshmallows. We were Sonia, my wife, Sonia's husband, my wife, and me. We're talking about around the stove with the marshmallows, and then she smelled something like, see, something is burning.
I know what the burning
Oh,
smell
Yeah,
like.
so she got panicked because it's the second time. I mean,
Third
third time.
yeah.
Something is burning. And my wife said, it's the pie. So they opened the stove, and it was a lot of smoke. And as soon as the smoke catches the air, flames going out.
Yeah.
And Saul, Sonia's husband, grabbed the kids. Let's get out of here. So they grabbed the kids. They start running out of to the street. And Sonia went out, and Yareli was, what do I do? What do I do? Well, just grab a wet rag and put it on top of it. It's the only thing that I can come in my mind. And everybody was evacuating the house. And then Sonia's husband comes out from the street. Oh, it's electric. We're not gonna burn anything here. The stuff is electric.
Oh.
We're not gonna get fire. We sometimes we just get that fire. False fire. Like we're gonna fall for the same situation. But no, God got us protected. It's like testimony. It's a funny story because you can see the whole family running away, and then you remember, oh, it's electric. Well, stuff is electric. We're not gonna get in fire.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the same thing. Sometimes we think like the same fire, the same situation is gonna burn us down. But no, now we got protection. I don't think we're gonna fall in the same sins. I don't think we're gonna fall in the same situation that we were before.
You say we don't think we are, or we shouldn't.
We shouldn't.
We should, yeah.
We should not.
I mean, I think we all
Oh,
land
we're
in the
on
same
the
place
edge.
sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But we shouldn't. Is the whole point
But
of
I
the whole
guess
thing.
even if we fall, we know the answer. I can think that God is gonna rescue us again. I mean,
Yeah.
He has been doing that.
He hasn't set like a limit. No, I've already
Mhm.
already rescued you twice. You're out.
Exactly.
It's like unlimited mercy and grace that He's showing for us.
So follow those good stuff. Follow the good stuff. Like
Think
dwell
about
on
these
this,
things.
uh-huh.
It's basically
But
what
if you
he said.
fall, I mean, come on, wake up, stand up, and
Yeah.
keep working, keep walking.
It's
It's like the old Rocky Balboa movie. You know Rocky Balboa?
Yeah, of
Well,
course.
Oh, okay, good. I was making sure, bro. I don't want to talk about something you don't know. So, like in one of the Rocky movies, he's like, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down, how many times you keep getting back up.
Uh-huh.
It's basically the Christian life. Like, 'cause you're going to get knocked down, but are you going to keep relying on God to keep picking
No,
you back
and
up?
there is something really important we have to know. We learn about the problems, not when we are
Yeah.
safe, not when we are
We're
fine.
safer than before. I mean,
Yeah, we
Because-
really learn, and we grow when we have the real problems. When everything is fine and everything is good and everything is going well in our life, we don't really grow. We don't really learn nothing. We learn when we have the real problems.
we fall down when we.
Yeah.
I was telling my buddy out in Texas that same thing, what me and Haley went through last year with Dad's house.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I don't like going through the situation. I said, but I'm glad we are. Because if you don't go through these trials and tribulations, as Peter says, gold's refined by fire. So he's making you more mature. He's moving you up to the next rung on the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to go through them. Like nobody wants to go through bad times. But if you never go through them, you won't rely on God like you should.
Yeah. And
So
we
it was a good thing. I told him, I said, we need to go through these things.
Mm-hmm.
We have to, as a Christian. It's part of the role. You have to go through it to grow.
Mm-hmm.
No, and we have to realize that God tells us He's going to be with us in all time, and He's going to be with us in the problems. He never said you are not going to have any problems. He never said your life is going to be it's going to be always fine. He said I'm going to be there in the troubles. So He was telling us you will have problems.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if you are a Christian or not. You
Mhm.
will have problems.
Yep.
The difference about us and the other people that doesn't have this relationship with God is that God is going to be with us in the trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That's the great difference. That's the what make us like a real Christian. You know,
Yeah.
that we trust that in the middle of the problem, God is going to be with us.
In the middle of the fire.
Yeah,
In the middle of the furnace, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So many times through Scripture that was the case. People going through the fire, literally.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden there's another person there in Jesus. So yeah, I agree with all that. And to your point, when we're in those problem situations, I think Pastor Chris used to teach us this, and I've always held on to it. When you're there, don't say "woe is me." Like
What am I supposed to be learning? right
what am I
now?
supposed to be learning here? And
Yeah.
who else around me is struggling with this same thing that we can do this together?
Yeah.
Like
So,
because
yeah, instead of
share.
saying, "Look, woe is me," like you said, it's like, okay, God, you've got me here for a reason. Show me what I'm supposed to be learning here.
Yeah, because I've learned in my short. So I was born again in 2004. So I'm relatively a new Christian. I mean, 17 years. That's not that long.
So you're only 17 years
I'm
old.
only 17
Yeah.
years old.
So you're younger than now.
This gray beard and all this just
You
comes
look
with
younger
stress
for
from
wisdom.
computers not
Computers.
working,
Claro,
and
claro, sí, señor.
microphones
Sí,
being
sí, sí,
silly
sí,
and all
sí.
that kind of stuff. You threw me off what I was even going to say. What was I saying?
I don't know.
You don't know?
That you
Reborn
were, yeah,
in 2007.
Oh, so I was born again
Uh-huh.
in 04.
04.
And what Pastor Chris would say is like, who's going through this? And so I've learned that in my classes and stuff I sit in or whatever, if I say I'm going through something, you'd be very surprised how many people are also going through that.
Yeah.
But they were sitting there being so quiet because they thought they were the only ones going through it.
Yeah.
And we're not going through this life on an island, like you're out there by yourself in a silo. God created the family of God to all be together. Hispanic, white, black, Asian, whatever. That's all the people he's brought to Mount Zion. And we all are this body that he's like a moving organism that are experiencing life, growing in life, doing different things. And so I think that's what's so tremendous about this place is that we are all from different walks of life, have different thoughts on life, different thoughts on what's on time and what's being late. But it doesn't matter because God is like growing us all here together. And I just think that's it's a great place to pastor.
Yeah.
It's just a good spot to be in, I think, for all of us when we're trying to be, because when you go to heaven, it's going to be all of us. It's not a white heaven, a black heaven, a
Well, it's
Hispanic.
going to be most of us. I don't think it'll be.
Well, yes,
Unless you're speaking in
I hope we're going to be
Christian
awesome.
terms.
I'm speaking
hope
about
I
this
can
table
be
right here.
body,
I know
yeah.
these four are going to heaven.
That's what you think.
That's what I
That's
think.
what you think.
Yeah, no, I hope I can be there.
Yeah.
I hope I can be there.
So I started thinking about the blessings that I got to experience this week. The sitting with the lady and just going to buy the school supplies and then things just at church just happening. It's just good to see some things happening. So I was thinking about Sermon on the Mount and Jesus giving us the Beatitudes. And some of these we can relate to. And then really I want to camp out on the last one because of something Mike said earlier. And I want to let him expound on it. But Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, the Beatitudes, he starts off by saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the gentle, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who have been persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." It says, "Blessed are you when people insult you and persecute you and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward in heaven is great. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." And so Mike was saying earlier, like, there are people in this world that us, as Christians, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but through him. If you profess that in front of certain people, and Mike said it in this way, they don't always come at you in an evil way, like trying to attack you, but they may approach you in some type of way that's not
Try to
accepted.
pick you to death, put you on trial or something like that.
Yeah, and so what Jesus said was, rejoice and be glad when people do that, because you're living it out. Like if you weren't living it out, they would never know that about you. But you're out there living it out. And this pastor one time told me, well, didn't tell me, I was in this meeting one time, and his challenge to the whole group was, is your Christian life even worth persecution? Like, are you living for God enough that people would even
That's
know?
heavy right there.
Would
It's
even
like,
know.
whoa,
It is,
hey.
And someone would want to persecute you for it. And I was thinking, whoa, I don't know. I really don't know at that time of my life if it was. I think now it is, because I'm called to get up and proclaim Jesus every week, which we all are, but that's my job. But I thought that was deep. They hit
Yeah,
like,
I was
whoa.
like, man, that's pretty good. And usually what gets me, and the main thing I was focused on when I was bringing that up is usually the ones that are going to try to put you on trial when you say something are the secular people, the people that are not saved. Well, the Bible says this and that, and you're not doing this. It's like, but you're judging, and that is in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, I don't get in arguments with people. I got in a little bit of a heated discussion a few weeks ago with a guy, and he opened the door when he mentioned something about the size of God, and he meant it in a good way. And he went, he gave me his little bit of testimony, and I just took that and I just ran with it. He opened the door, so I walked in it.
Yeah.
And then right there, close to the end, he said, "I don't believe in corporate worship." I was like, but Jesus was here for everybody. Hebrews said, don't forgive up forsaking together like we are. And I told him, I said, if you're not sure you're I said, you never actually claimed to be saved. I said, but we can fix that right now. And, you know, he got a little bit loud, and I was like, look, I'm not here to get no, you know, pissing contest with you about what the Bible says. You either believe it or you don't. I'm going to go over here and work on another truck.
Yeah.
But he did. And I'm not here to fight. It's like, look, if you're not going to believe it, I can't make you believe it.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do it on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the people that pick it apart are the ones they just want to put you on the spot, or they just want to give you a hard time, or they want to find something wrong with you. And so I looked up some stuff before we got started, and it's in 1 Peter 1, 11, and 12 to go along with what you just read in the last Beatitude. Dear friends, I urge you as strangers and temporary residents to abstain from fleshly desires that war against you. I've been dealing with that this week too. Conduct yourselves honorably among the Gentiles, so that in a case where they speak against you as those who do what is evil, the outsiders, they will be, by observing your good works, glorify God on the day of your visitation, of his visitation. So, and then just to add to it, and it's a well-known verse, is Galatians 6:9. So we must not get tired of doing what is good, for we will reap at the proper time if we don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't get it. You know, again, you know, if you don't like it, don't deal with it. Some people aren't like that.
That's
like,
right.
Like, you know, onions. I've said it before. I don't like onions. So guess what I don't put in my food? Onions. I don't hate the onion. I just don't like it. So I just steer clear of it.
One of the podcasts I listen to, they get hate mail like everybody else does. You know, they get stuff, people don't like this, don't like that. And he's like, this is so weird. He's like, I'm never going to respond to these people, because if they don't like it, hopefully they're not listening to it. And then, like, if I don't like something, I just turn it off.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I don't even, like, I don't send them a letter and say, this is why you suck, but this is what's going on. So, and then
we're transparent. And I mean, we're on the internet, and like you said, I think in your sermon Sunday, and you do videos, and I'm sure you might be in your videos sometime. Once it's out there, it's out there.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can't get it back.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't care how much money you have.
Yeah.
We're transparent, and usually the people that are badgering you or picking you to death or trying to find something wrong with you, well, you made a mistake 20 years ago, they're not transparent.
Right.
They're kind of just acting. That's what they're doing.
I just got a revelation about that. I got a revelation.
A revelation about what he was just saying?
A revelation?
No. I mean,
A
revelation.
revelation.
Okay, there is 2 Bible verses that helped me a lot on this issue. First, was an experience that I have. I was working on the crawl space in the house, and the guys were in the roof. I mean, the other guys were on the roof. So they come back to lunch, and they get a 2x4. They step on it and hit it. I mean, on purpose, they hit it to my ears on
the floor.
On the floor.
I got you.
So it was painful, and I came out. I mean, really mad. Like the mean of Benjamin comes out.
You were Ben Mean.
It was mean.
He was the mean Ben Mean.
Who was it? Who was it? Nobody was trying. I mean, who was it? Nobody was telling me anything until. Who was it? But I was really mad, and this guy come out. Was me. And don't you think? I mean, I came out with my flesh words. Don't you think you can? I mean, make some damage in my ears, and you blah blah blah. I discharge on my head, and he just came out with this. Aren't you supposed to be Christian? And I just
You're like, yeah, you got a point.
No, the revelation.
I want to know what Jesus think about it.
Yeah, the revelation comes out. Okay, just imagine if I forget that I'm Christian, because I'm a Christian. I'm telling you this. Let me forget that I'm a Christian, and I will beat you down. I will beat you down. I mean,
Yeah, I'm talking with you because I'm
just
Christian.
because I'm Christian, I'm just telling you this in a moderate way. In a moderate way.
Yeah.
If I'm not a Christian, woo,
Yeah.
we'll be gone.
Right.
But then it says in the Bible in Romans 12, 12 what? Romans 12, 18. Well, I don't know how to say it in English. I'm going to
I'll go there. You go ahead and read yours. 12:18.
According to what the Bible says of the Bible of the Americans, it says, if it's possible, Spanish dice, si es posible, en cuanto vosotros dependa, estar en paz con todos los hombres. You see, it says,
So it says, if possible, on your part, live at peace with everyone.
if possible, in your
If
part.
possible.
If possible.
If it's not,
Some people make it impossible.
And exactly, and I tell them, okay, God leave this Bible verse, if possible. He knows that is not possible.
Next time it's like, look, Peter cut a dude's ear off. I'm about to take yours.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
And he was forgiven.
If it's possible.
It's interesting that you picked that verse because when some things happened in my life about a year and a half ago or so, I had to bank on that verse. Someone told me that one, like, if possible, you should be at peace with everyone if you have any control over it. Like, and in this situation, I had control over it. It was like either I reach out to this person and say, let's work it out, or I keep having this animosity towards this person, and it's just fueling this anger inside of me, and it's causing my attitude and everything to be bad. And someone pointed me right to that verse and said, look, if it's possible and you can do anything about it, you're supposed to be at peace with everybody, especially as a Christian for one, but especially as a called pastor.
And 19 is one that we really get hung up on, mainly Christians.
Vengeance is mine.
Yeah. In verse 19 it says, friends, do not avenge yourselves. I had thoughts this week about last year. I mean,
Yeah.
I said, the things Mike could do. It says, friends, do not avenge yourselves. Instead, leave room for his wrath, his with a big H. For it is written, vengeance belong to me, I will repay, says the Lord. Just think what we want to do. We could do, you could think of anything and do whatever. I mean, kill or, beat that guy with a 2x4 or anything. That is nothing compared to what God will do. And I believe it says, vengeance belongs to me, I will repay. I think that really is just like a commandment for Christians. I don't think he would do that for unbelievers. Now, I'm not saying he won't, guide and talk and pull unbelievers to him. He did it for all of us. He pulled us to himself. But this, now I haven't really researched it, but I think that is a commandment strictly for people that follow God.
I love the verse 20. It's almost impossible without the power of God. But if your enemy is hungry, feed him. And if he's thirsty, give him a drink. For in so doing that, you will heap burning coals on his head. It's like kill him with kindness. It's that mantra. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. And that dude in the situation
and like Peter says, conduct yourselves honorably among the Gentiles or people, so that in the case when you speak against you, those who do evil, they will, by observing good works, glorify the day of his. They won't be able to find anything wrong with you.
Yeah.
Just like they had to trap Daniel, they had to figure out a way to trap him. So the evil people come up with a plan. Next 30 days, if King Darius, if they don't pray to you only, get rid of them. They're okay. Well, we got them. Well, Daniel's like, I'm praying to God.
I'm not doing that.
But he didn't get hurt. So he's like, no,
I'm not praying to you. I'm not eating your food.
Don't stop following him.
I'm not doing any of that stuff.
No.
And God's going to provide, and he does so.
And one other things to add to your beatitude, and it really stuck out when we were reading it, is 5:7. It says, the merciful are blessed, for they will be shown mercy. That is something I was telling people that. I said, I and we are showing mercy because we were shown mercy.
Yeah.
That is what I learned last year. I said, they're like, why are you doing it? Do this and this. I'm like, we were shown mercy. Even though while we were sinners, Christ died for us. So we were shown it. So if we're going to say we're following him, we have to do what he did. Not one time when he was being beat for that whole night did he ever rebuttal or fight back?
Um,
It's hard. It is not, like I said, I was thinking about last year today.
yeah.
I was like, oh.
And that's horrible. I mean, that's falling in God's hands. God's hands in the bad way is horrible. I mean, it's just thinking about, well, there's something that you can help on that because it's God's with you. It's God talking to you and rectifying your way or making straight your way or whatever. Is God when you see, oh, God is taking that for me, and the only thing that you can ask is, God, please have mercy. Okay.
And so we, as
It's like, Lord, forgive me for I'm about to split this guy's head
yeah,
off.
to say it beforehand. And
I was
you
like,
come-
I'm going to ask for forgiveness now because I'm about to go down that road.
Forgiveness over permission. That's one of those situations. Verse 13 in Matthew chapter 5 says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has become tasteless, how can it be made salty again? It's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under by foot by men." And so when we get in those situations and we just, explode on somebody, our salt loses a little flavor because with that person, now they're not gonna. Our testimony becomes weaker with them. Our witness becomes weaker, and that's hard because there's moments where you're right. I'm a Christian. I'm not weak. That doesn't mean I'm weak. So don't take me to that level because if you get me to that point, there's a whole other side of Benjamin that you don't even know.
It'd be mean Mike.
You don't want to know.
Accent, the accent and mean.
So it's no longer good for anything, it says. And then verse 14 says, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." And so that's what I'm always preaching and always thinking about is that we're trying to get light into the darkest of the dark. Like there's so much dark out there and we are so few that men like us are commanded. Like it's our instructions in life to go out there and be the light. And so I guess that's why I like hanging out with people like Alex and Ben and Mike and getting to know who they are and where you're from and what's going on because you're the salt in a whole nother country.
Yeah.
Like you're the salt from a whole nother country that God has put here and now we're together and it's just to me
Their salt might be a little more spicier.
their salt is definitely more spicy.
Yeah.
But so it encourages
spicy stuff.
it encourages me that we're all from different places and all different experiences, different ages, everything. But like you started the whole thing by saying that God can use us for things that we can't even imagine right now, and that's just an awesome testimony about God to me that we can encourage people with. And no matter what situation in life you're going through or what you're experiencing right now, leave it up to God, whether it's sickness, whether it's a person giving you a hard time, whether it's my own, get me out of my way because my feelings will get me all in some place. God's bigger than all that, and I think that it's pretty cool that he allows us to come
Like
together.
I tell Levi when he gets one of them attitudes or lies, I said, don't do it. It'll take you places you don't want to go.
Yeah, it's so true. So, Alex, you got anything to wrap it up? We usually go about an hour. We're at 1:02. You got anything before we get out of here?
Well,
Appreciate you coming on, bro.
I'm really glad to be here, and it's really cool because I realized that is true.
Mm-hmm.
Different people of different places with the same God.
That's awesome, isn't it? And just regardless of where you can't go anywhere in the world
And,
and away from it.
I'm really sure if we go maybe to Japan or to Italy, it's going to be the same. Different people, different lives,
Same
the
God.
same God.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the same language. It doesn't matter. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's going to be always the same. If we have the same God, it's going to be.
How cool is that, man?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you was reading the Bible in English, I was reading the Bible in Spanish in my mind. And I was, I know. So I think it's going to be the same if you travel any part of the planet. It's going to be the same. Different
Yeah.
people, different lives, same as God.
Same God. Same God.
God.
Benja, any thoughts before we go?
You got
brother?
any proverbs before we go, sir?
No, well, I think same people, same God, different situations, and I guess we have to be the salt that spice up the good things. For instance, I know Andy, our friend at church.
Mhm.
He's like his way to be, his personality is like a little bit like a nervous stuff, but he makes us laugh. I mean, it's something natural. I was thinking about the people who you see a lot of comedies, a lot of music, a lot
Mhm.
of things. We need salt in all those parts.
Mhm.
We need salt to get all the aspects of their life. I mean, for some reason, God gave me those troubles that bothers me in my head, make other people laugh. It's okay. It's okay. People think I'm being happy. No, I'm being mean. But people start laughing and laughing. Okay, okay. If it works for the other people, my struggles, my sufferings, and everything, it works for other people. In no matter the situation, it's okay. I mean, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be at the end with him. I'm working for that.
Yeah.
For being with him.
Because
Yes.
you're right. I laugh at some of the stuff you post and say and do, and there's probably a lot of truth behind some of it that you're like, that wasn't supposed to be funny.
Yeah,
So-
nothing's supposed to be funny, but
My
yeah, like
life
I'm
is
drinking the
not funny.
coffee in the morning. It's not for my. It's for you.
So-
It's not for my good. It's for your.
That's
your
exactly
good.
right.
It's
Yeah.
for you to survive the day.
Exactly.
I feel that way about coffee too. I'm the same way.
It's-
So, good, guys, I appreciate you coming on here tonight. You're
Thank
welcome to
you.
come back any week when we record this, as long as you're in town, bro. Because I think the more voices we get on there,
Mhm.
our goal is to get the gospel to anybody that listen.
Mhm.
And I think the more different faces we have, different voices we have, different age groups that we have, I think the more, obviously, the more people we can reach. But it just shows that we can do all this together. You know, we're called to do this together. And every time we do this, it edifies the body and it's building up not only Mount
It's
Zion.
about unity and not division.
Absolutely. And so if we can spread a little bit of unity and love and light into the world, then if this is our avenue, and so be
And
it.
just to go on the record, we didn't pay them to be here.
Nah, they're not
They're
one
here on
thing.
their own.
Yeah.
Somebody
Well,
said,
for real?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No check tonight, sir.
Okay.
Scripture says you'll get your jewels and your crown when you get to heaven. So
Yeah.
you'll have some nice jewels there. So if you're, thank you guys for listening to the podcast, watching the YouTube videos, and following us. Please share with your friends, like and subscribe, all those good things. And we'll catch up with you next week, guys. God bless everybody. Have a good week, evening, night, day, morning, whatever time it is you're listening to this. Peace.
Adios.
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 Adios.